Hey there everyone, this is Piper here, and today we're playing a game called Banished. It's actually going to be a tutorial video. It's going to be some tips and tricks and what I've learned in the game. This is a sort of a city building game, like a medieval village building game, and I've only been playing for about 80 hours, but I managed to get all the achievements in Steam, and it's basically just going to be 10 points and what I think are the most important areas of the game to make good cities. I'm not saying this is the best way, it's just what I've kind of used to help me get the achievements and help my city building. So I'll start off quite fast here. um, Before I do the 10 points, I'll make a general statement. Iron and stone in a game is very important, so only only make stone buildings and stone paths later on in the game. So with that being said, number one, gathering is the best form of getting food. Try and make the best of the gathering huts. So you have a zone here, and the bigger that zone is, the more forest area that's in that zone, the more food you'll get. So number one, gathering is the best way of getting food. But what you want to do is you want to make pods. So you want to keep gathering hut together with hunting cabin and forester lodge. So you want to keep these three together. So the hunting cabin and the gatherer's hut require forestry. So you keep the forester lodge close by, and they all have very similar sort of radiuses. So you want to make pods like that around the city, and that will ensure you have a good source of food. Because you want to make sure you're making the best out of your workforce. You only get so many people, so if you have a lot of gatherer huts and a lot of hunting cabins next to the forester lodge, you'll get a lot of food. I've done pods up there, pods down the sides, there. You want to try and keep houses nearby so your workers don't have to travel too far. So the best way of doing that is to keep them just on the outskirts of the pods. So here I've got two houses there, got quite a large city here, got more houses here. Just try and keep them on the outskirts. Any areas that you can't use for gathering or hunting cabins, make it some sort of agriculture or pasture. And you can see here that's not really a suitable area for gatherer's hut, so put in pasture. Well, it's actually orchards here. The second tip I'm going to say, make your crops varied. Make a combination of different sort of seeds. Make it orchards, different sorts of grapes and fruits. And a good point is if you make a little greater percentage of your agriculture wheat, you can make wheat into ale. So basically use agriculture for areas that you can't use for gathering. So the third one, this is quite important. Make sure you have your stockpiles in tactical areas. So what I've done in this city, I've put my stockpiles, some of them quite close to the trading posts, and that means that you can actually make a lot of firewood and trade. So you want to keep your stockpiles close to your trading posts. And I've got another stockpile over here and over here, but that is the main one. You want to keep blacksmiths and woodcutters close to your stockpiles, because woodcutters cut the wood and blacksmiths they need wood and iron to make the tools. Next piece of information, storage barns. You need them to store wood for over the winter time. So you want to make sure you don't waste any food. So you want to have loads of storage barns, so you always have space for your tools and equipment, but also your food as well. You cannot expand the city without storage barns because you run out of food. You want to keep your tailors close to your storage barns because tailors require leather to make clothes, and leather stored in the storage barn. So tactical placement of your stockpiles, your storage barns, is very, very important. So that's pretty good information for the early on in the game. When you start having lots of houses, you need to become more efficient with your food distribution. So you need markets. Basically, markets allow your population to, instead of picking up one item from a storage barn, they can go to the market and have a wheelbarrow and get all the items at once. So it basically means that they can collect their supplies a lot faster. You want to get the market in amongst your houses to make it easier for your population to get their food. And it's also an idea to keep some storage barns on the outskirts of the market, because vendors have to travel to the barns to get the food to bring it back to the market to sell. So the closer you keep your storage barns to the market, the better it is for them. So the next piece of information, you want to make sure that the diet is varied in the city. So you want to have a large amount of variety in the foods available, and basically that increases the health of the citizens because they have different foods to eat. You want to make sure you have medicine, and to do that you need a herbalist. And the herbalist is one of these things that you need to keep the herbalist away from the forestry cabin, because the herbalist requires mature trees, and if they're always getting cut down, there will never be mature trees. So always make sure herbalist is away from the forestry cabin. You need your workforce to be tooled and clothed. So that's the amount of stored tools there. That's 219. That's the amount of stored clothes. So if they don't have tools or clothes, they'll just not work properly, and you'll have a lack of food in the city. Another thing is you need education. I think education increases the production by about 40%. So it takes longer to get more adults, but if they're educated, they'll work a lot better. So that's another important thing. So number 8, use trading posts and use them to acquire supplies. So basically, when all your iron and stone on the surface runs out, you have two ways of getting iron or stone: either mining for it or buying it from the trading post. And I've always felt the best ways to buy it from the trading post, because if you build a mine or you build a quarry, you cannot change that part of the map once it's been built, so you're kind of stuck with it. Whereas if you build a trading post, you basically have an unlimited supply. So you want to make sure you store a lot of your firewood at your trading post, so you can buy stone and iron. And wood's one of the unlimited assets of the game. The trees always grow back, so you always have enough firewood if you have the woodcutters. So you want to really use the trading post as a sort of an extra storage area, and also that enables you to buy extra food as well if you run out. So you can see here I've actually got firewood here. I've got about 10,000 firewood, but I've also got some eggs stored, some fish stored, 5,000 venison stored as well, so I can cover any issues with a lack of food. I'll just show you the graph fast here. If you go to the town hall, You can see here the population, it's like peaks and troughs. So what happens is you'll build houses and people will move in, but then you'll have a population decline and it'll increase again. You need ways to basically cover those troughs. So there'll be times where you need to buy food from the trading post to cover those times where you don't have enough. Plus, if you use the strategy that I use, gathering and growing food, it can be a little bit unpredictable at times. So if you have the option to buy food as well, it's really beneficial. You want to, say number 9, build tunnels to link up your parts to the village. This basically speeds up the travelling time, or decreases the travelling time. So that's really important. So you see here we've got a hill here, but we've got a tunnel that directs these barns directly to the market, and also the houses as well. So finish off with the last point, 10, don't build too fast. If you build too many houses, your population will expand very, very fast, which is always a good thing, but if it's too fast and you don't have enough food stored up in the storage barns in the market, the population will die of hunger. And starvation affects everyone, so it won't just be the children that die. Some children might survive, but you'll have key workers like gatherers will die as well, and it just compounds the problem. So this game's it's a slow building game, so always build your houses slowly and manage your stock and your food. So there's 10 points there about the game Banished. I'll probably do some more in-depth tutorials on how to play the game, some tips and strategies and what to do best, how to manage things. But again, I've only been playing the game like 80 hours. I've already done all the achievements. So some things I don't do the best way, but it's all worked for me. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. This is Piper signing off.